Hey guys, Jordan with TYT Politics. It is Tuesday. Hope you're having a nice day so far. I am in New York still, and of course, the Democratic Party has a totally absurd and ridiculous electoral strategy that is totally missing the point of why they lost to a reality TV star clown. So that's what I'm talking about right now. There's a story in Politico. The headline is Democrats recruit veterans early for 2018 battle. So we're not talking about political veterans, campaign operatives, veterans of campaigns, any of that. We're talking actual U.S. Veterans who fought in war. That apparently is the Democratic Party strategy to combat Trump. I will read a little bit about it for you and then give you my thoughts. Democrats are looking to turn the Donald Trump resistance movement into an army of candidates to try to take back the House in 2018. Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee leaders have already met with 255 potential candidates across 64 districts, convinced that the shifting political environment has opened new opportunities that they'll chase in next year's midterms. A rough profile of their ideal candidate has started to emerge. Veterans, preferably with small business experience. They'd like as many of them to be women or people who have never run for office before. And having young children helps. Let me read that one more time. A rough profile of their ideal candidate has started to emerge. Veterans, preferably with small business experience too. They'd like as many of them to be women or people who have never run for office before. And have young children helps too. With the 2018 Senate map tilted heavily in Republicans' favor, House races may prove the first real test for how much 2016 was a realignment election, and how Democrats are able to turn the energy in the streets against President Donald Trump into actually winning races. Quote, "We are going to be on offense. We are going to take this fight to the American people," said DCCC Chair Congressman Ben Ray Lujan last week at an event taking a victory lap over the defeat of Obamacare repeal. It was held to tout a poll showing how badly the bill played in 54 swing districts. While winning the majority would require a tidal wave in 2018, Democratic recruiters are giddy over the surge in energy and interest among potential candidates, and they are starting the process earlier than ever. This past Saturday, candidates preparing to be in the first rounds of campaign announcements quietly made their way to DCCC headquarters in Washington for the first pre-launch boot camp, following several staff training sessions. Half the attendees were women and half were veterans, according to a DCCC official. I'm not going to read you the rest. I will put the story link in the description box on YouTube. So, where do you even start with this? So, the bottom line is a reality TV star buffoon was able to beat the most well-oiled political machine possibly in U.S. history. The Clintons, other than the Kennedys, oh God, I do need to shave. The Clinton, other than the Kennedys, were the most funded, had the most connections on the national, state, and local level, and they lost to a buffoon. So the answer the Democratic Party has decided on is United States veterans, small business owners, which I'll get to in a minute, and women. And I'm not knocking any of those constituencies. I love the veterans. Thank you for your service. Obviously, I love women. There's nobody who cherishes women as much as me, as Donald Trump likes to say. And small business owners. But really, what this is an unbelievable disconnect between why the Democratic Party lost the election, why the Democratic Party has lost on the national level, on the state level, on the local level, in numbers we haven't seen in decades. Basically, what you're seeing here is the Democratic Party is tripling down on the Russia fear-mongering. That's why they want to enlist veterans. So veterans can attack Trump on his Russia connections, on the scary Russian boogeyman. They want to enlist veterans to attack Trump on the Muslim ban, his xenophobia, things like that, which, don't get me wrong, I am all for all candidates, whether they're veterans, small business owners, it doesn't matter, going after President Trump on the racism, the xenophobia, the un-American attempts to otherize Muslims and Latinos and all that. We should be going after them for that. But in going after veterans, essentially to continue on with the focus on Russia and the focus on, trying to appear like the Democrats are the more patriotic party, you're essentially borrowing from the Republican playbook. This is what the Republican Party does. They go with the patriotism and the waving around the American flag like they're the only ones who care about patriotism and Americana. This is what they've been doing for years. This is why Fox News is so successful, or has been successful. So the whole thing to push veterans, they're saying half the people at this meeting were veterans and women. What about the fact that millions and millions of young people, of working class voters who are sick of the toxic effect of money in politics, where are those candidates? Where are the millennials? Where are the blue collar working people? The people who have had their jobs traded to China and Mexico, who are working 2 to 3 jobs. The Bernie Sanders and the Progressive Coalition. I don't hear the Democratic Campaign Committee recruiting those types of people. The people who came out in droves for Bernie Sanders. A lot of those people decided I can't vote for Hillary Clinton and ended up voting for Trump. I met them in Ohio and Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin and and Illinois. But we're gonna try to push forward veterans and women. Obviously, they want to push forward women to contrast with President Trump, who is a misogynist, who his policies already are showing to be not very considerate of women, who has said radical things about abortion, who has not done anything in terms of equal pay for equal work, who has degraded women in his language. Basically, what the Democratic Party is trying to do is put forward, whether it's veterans, whether it's women, to essentially attack Trump. Not actually put forward their own policies, their own positive agenda, their own agenda for working people, investing in America, stop funneling money from corporations and banks and lobbyists and big pharma and big oil. No, none of those candidates. The Democratic Party doesn't want those candidates, the candidates that millennials want, that white working class people want, that a lot of African Americans want, that a lot of Latinos want, that a lot of older Americans want. We don't need to bother with them. Let's bring in the vets and let's drape ourselves with the American flag and let's try to patriotism. I'm making up a phrase. Out patriotism or out patriotize Trump. This is not an electoral strategy that is going to speak to the coalition that Bernie Sanders just brought in. It's not. And really what they're trying to do by focusing on veterans, putting forth candidates with no electoral experience. I'm all for putting forward candidates with no electoral experience, but what kind of candidates? Are these veterans they're putting forward? Are they going to be talking about, in one breath, they're going to be attacking Trump on Russia, they're going to be attacking Trump on the Muslim ban and the immigration and all this. You think those veterans are going to be talking about, we as a Democratic Party need to start only focusing on fundraisers and fundraising from working people and young people, and stop taking money from Wall Street, and stop taking money from big pharma, and stop taking money from big oil, and stop taking money from huge Silicon Valley corporations? You think those veterans are going to be talking about that? You think the women the Democratic Party is enlisting are going to be talking about that? And then let's get to the small business owners. So when the Democratic Party talks about we're trying to enlist small business owners, this is essentially borrowing from the Republican playbook. Because Republicans, for as long as we've all been alive, well, not all of us, have been trying to loop big multinational corporations in as small businesses. Because obviously the Republican Party only works for gigantic corporations who try to funnel money, not pay taxes, deregulate, all that. Um, my new managing editor for 2IT Politics sent me this story from years ago. Report: big business turns small for tax purposes. A number of companies with multi-billion-dollar revenues have been registered as small businesses for tax purposes, according to a report. Among them were, quote, the biggest companies in the world and the richest people in this country. The term small business was an utter misnomer. Because IRS tax returns are not public record, the names of companies were ascertained from public documents such as court records or the company's postings. Among the examples given on Countdown with Keith Olbermann were Enterprise Product Partners, a pipeline company with 2009 revenues of $25 billion, Koberg, Kravis, Roberts & Co., a Wall Street firm with $445 million in revenue in 2009, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Koch Industries, our friends at the Koch brothers, and a couple others. So the Democratic Party is now trying to play off many, most likely, we don't know which small business owners they're talking about, fairly large companies as small business owners. So we have the Democratic Party borrowing from the Republicans in terms of pushing veterans and American patriotism as their electoral strategy. We have the Democratic Party trying to exploit women as candidates to contrast against Trump. And we have the Democratic Party trying to put forward small business owners. And again, in fairness, maybe they will put forward actual small business owners. We don't know. But here's the problem. And this has been the problem with the whole Russia hysteria. Is it possible Russia hacked the U.S. election or fed the documents to WikiLeaks? All this? Of course it's possible. I haven't seen incontrovertible proof that this was the case, but it's possible. But by fixating on this Russia stuff, which cable news has been doing, print media has been doing, the New York Times, the Washington Post, all the digital sites, there has been a total silence and crickets on the actual reason the Democratic Party lost to a faux populist. Because they are in the tank for Wall Street, Big Pharma, Big Oil, and special interest, and have been for a long time. That's why the Democratic Party lost. They put forward the utter symbolic representation of being in the tank in Hillary Clinton, and they thought that just otherizing Donald Trump, making him so unpalatable, so horrific, so unacceptable, would automatically elect them. And now, for their 2018 strategy, they're essentially put forward veterans to out-patriotize, again, not a real phrase, out-patriotize Trump, try to probably double or triple down on this Russia stuff, then try to slam him for being un-American with the Muslim ban and the xenophobia, which I agree, totally agree, we should focus on that. But none of these candidates are going to be focusing on campaign finance reform or getting special interest in big money out of our elections. Which, if you haven't noticed, there's this guy, I forget his name, he's an old guy from Vermont, who's been railing about the issues I'm talking about. I think recent polls have shown he's the most popular politician in the country among Democrats, among independents, among even Republicans. Who's it? What the hell is this guy's name? You guys know who I'm talking about? Bernard something. Bernie Sanders. Right. So let's not try to get people from the Bernie coalition. Let's not try to get people from the progressive movement who aren't going to take money from super PACs, who aren't going to take money from big multinational corporations. You might be able to get people that are veterans who also are progressives and don't want big special interest money. But I guarantee you, and I will gladly come on and acknowledge I was wrong. Guaranteed. The candidates the Democratic Party is shopping, the veterans, the women, the small business owners, I don't think they're going to be focusing on money in politics. Do you? I don't. This is a play at trying to basically borrow from the Republican Party, trying to throw around our flag pins and be more American than the other party and more patriotic than the other party. This is an attempt to put forward women, who I love women, let's not confuse ourselves, love women, single still, ladies, and try to essentially put women forward and make Trump very unpalatable. And you could do these things. We could put forward progressive candidates who want to fundamentally change the country and want the Democratic Party to actually represent working people and to stop working for corporate America. We could put forward those types of candidates who also attack Trump on his xenophobia, in his Muslim ban, his vile statements and policies towards Mexico. You could do two things at once. But what they are doing right now in trying to push forward veterans, women, and small business owners is essentially becoming the Republican Party light. And that is not a winning electoral strategy. I'm sure Cenk will have something to say about this, being that he, along with others, has put forward the Justice Democrats. I don't really like talking about the Justice Democrats because I don't want to be a homer for the Young Turks or the Justice Democrats. But let me tell you something. I think the Justice Democrats will have things to say about this. I think the progressive movement will have things to say about these kind of candidates that they're putting forward. And for the trolls, I'm not against veterans running for office. I'm not against women running for office. I'm not against small business owners running for office. I think it's great. I think anybody who is qualified and feels that they can make an impact should run for office. But I am against if we're putting these coalitions together for the wrong reasons at the expense of focusing on the fundamental issue that has screwed up and demolished the Democratic Party electorally, which is money in politics. Thank you for watching. I'll be doing other videos today, youtube.com/TYTpolitics. I'm at Jordan Chariton, JordanChariton on Twitter. Follow me, and we'll talk soon. Thanks, guys.